Hey there. I thought I would do another video update. Today is 21 days after surgery. My stitches have been out for 1 week. If you see, on my right hand, the scab fell off. The left one, there's still a little bit of a scab. But it looks pretty good. I mean, the skin's a little pink underneath. But the incision's not raised at all. It's actually kind of sunken in a little bit. So I think it's going to heal really nicely. I think I'll have very minimal to no scarring. So today, what's special about today is I can start resistive exercises, and I thought I would just show what I'm doing. One more thing. I didn't mention it, or it's been a week since the last video, I think. My hands are getting better each day. I still have pain. It's pretty constant all day, every day. But it's not too bad. It's tolerable. I just take Tylenol and ibuprofen. But my left hand, I seem to have some nerve irritation, specifically in the ring finger. If I do this motion with this hand, abducting my fingers, I have kind of a jolt of pain that's really just in my ring finger. I also can't wear my wedding ring because I get the same kind of sensation. It's kind of like a jolt of electricity. Not quite the same as the carpal tunnel sensation I would have. This just feels like nerve pain. But it's only with movement. I don't feel it outside of that. I'm not super familiar with that or any of this. This is my first time with the surgery, of course. But from what I read online, that seems normal. There's probably still some inflammation in one of the further joints, not at the wrist. That's why I don't feel it up here. Okay, so on to the exercises. I'm kind of going a little extreme on these. Nobody has to do these, and I'm not doing this as educational. This is more of just, this is what I'm doing. If you have the surgery and you want to copy these exercises, you should talk with your doctor first, and then it's at your own discretion. I'm not responsible. So I'm taking the approach, probably 3 days a week, I'm going to do more intense therapy, which is like what today was. And then every other day, I'll do lighter, more stretching, active range of motion stuff. This took me about 45 minutes. I did every exercise for 3 sets at 10 reps. Some of these are more stretching, some is just active range of motion, some is resistive. Some of it is strengthening, and then some of it also is more just for desensitization and mobility. So I started with, I'm not going to do every rep, but I'm just going to show you one of each. I started in like a prayer kind of position, and I just take my hands down as far as I can, which, this is incredible. I couldn't get my hands into nearly this much wrist extension before the surgery. I still actively, that's a lot farther. Before the surgery, I could probably get to about there. So anyways, I do this. I go as far as I can tolerate, and then I go just a hair more, and I hold it for about 10 seconds, and then release. Then I changed the order, well, whatever. I have a little bit of like a tendinitis in the muscles that do this, so I just threw this in. This is not really a normal carpal tunnel thing, probably, but if you hold your thumbs and then point your hands down as far as they'll go, so it's kind of like that motion. Again, holding it 10 seconds, and then slowly releasing. Then I did, this is the motion that hurts this hand a little bit, but I just did it slow and as far as I could tolerate. You see my hands are shaking a little. I think that's just because of muscle weakness. So anyways, this motion, it's more of just an active. I go kind of slow as far as I can, hold it for just 2 or 3 seconds and come back down. Just trying to open everything up because I'm really tight in my hands. Another exercise I did, I held my thumbs again, and I'm just opening my fingers. See how shaky they are. This one was just more of an active motion, not really a stretch. It is stretching, but just holding it for, 1 or 2 seconds and coming back. After that, I moved on to, you can see this. This is a 3-pound dumbbell. I'm surprised I could do this, actually. So I laid my hand off the edge of the table, but right now it's on it just to show you. But I'm just lifting my hand up, just as far as you can. Hold it for about a second, slowly lower it. That way we're working the full range of motion as far as we can. And by doing it slowly, we're getting the concentric portion and then the eccentric control. So again, 10 of those. I did it with both hands. I don't need to show you. Then I flipped my hand around and I did like a curl. And then when I let it down, I let it go to my fingertips. That kind of has a dual purpose, kind of stretches things out. But then when I curl up, it's using my fingers and my wrist flexors. So it's kind of a dual thing. I did kind of a hammer motion, up and down, up. Again, this is active. Did that with both hands. And then I put it overhead. I don't know if you can see this. And I did like the opposite motion. Right? So this way is towards my pinky. This way is towards my thumb. The only reason I do it overhead as opposed to right here, it looks like it's the same motion, but it's with gravity. So this way with gravity, it's working these muscles. And then overhead with gravity, it's working this side. I did supination, pronation, just kind of rotating the wrist. And then again, I did it overhead. Same motion, but it's the gravity principle again. And some of these exercises aren't explicitly gonna help my wrist, but we're kind of working up the arm with some of these. I have one of these Ther-Ex. These are awesome. I didn't buy this just for the surgery. I had it before. I had this when I was trying conventional treatments for myself pre-surgery. So they sell these on Amazon. One side is, there are two different resistance levels. So this one, yellow is easier, green's a little bit harder. I think technically this one, I think green they call like a medium resistance, and I think yellow is like a easy resistance. With my right hand, I could do the yellow pretty easily. With my left, I struggle a little more with the left. With my left hand, I struggle a little bit with the green. So anyways, I did this motion. You put your hands in, and you're just spreading your fingers apart. Just as far as you can, and it's difficult for me. I just hold that for 1 or 2 seconds. And then I do the opposite. I'll spread my fingers apart and squeeze them in. And that's going to help work on my grip strength a little bit. I did a lot of exercises. And again, this is kind of overboard, but I use my hands for so much, even outside of physical therapy. My wife and I have the business. We make cups. My hands are in a lot of weird positions. I'm always rotating and applying pressure. So I need my hands strong, is why I'm doing all this. This one, I got a TheraBand. Each brand has different resistance by the color. I have no idea what this one is, but it works and I can tolerate it. So I just have my hands up and I'm just extending my wrists. So this is working both at the same time. And then I so there's my right hand on the table. So I'm going to hold it up and I'm holding with my left hand here and I'm just touching my hand to the table. So this is two things. This is going to help strengthen this part of this hand. But then with my left hand, that's what we call isometric. So there's a force pushing down, but I'm holding it level. So it's strengthening the opposite side. And then I'll switch hands. Then I took a ball. I'm going to move the camera for this one. This is kind of more of a thing we do a lot with like shoulder stuff, but it works. So I'm just putting the ball against the wall. I'm keeping my arm as straight as I can, and I'm just rotating. Now this is going to help with like mobility of the wrist. You see it's moving in all different directions. But kind of my big reason for doing that one is it helps desensitize the hand a little bit, because I still have quite a bit of pain. So that one, reps don't really work because you're doing it so fast. I just did it, I don't know, about a minute, 3 times per hand, or until my wrist or shoulder got tired. The last thing I did is I took a rolled up towel, and I did 2 different things with this. First, I just squeeze the towel, and I hold it for, I don't know, 5 seconds, and then release, and I do that 10 times. That's going to help build my grip strength back, but then also, again, it's kind of desensitizing. When I first started today, it was painful, but then it wasn't as bad later on. And then the other thing is I'm doing like a wringing the towel out motion. Right? So I'll hold it for just a couple seconds. And then I'll kind of switch. Yeah, just like that. I think that was it. I don't think I missed anything. So that'll be my more intense workout day. And like I said, other days I may just do some of the more active range of motion and stretching components of that. Next, I'm going to ice both my hands for probably 20, 30 minutes or whenever they start to get numb. And then that'll be it. I'm going to try to do therapy 2 to 3 times a day, but that more intense one's only going to be once a day, 3 times a week. And like I said, I just need my hands strong. So, that's it. All right.